overseas than in the US. You know what I mean? So if your best in the US is like a six, right? That checks most of the boxes, but she looks a six. Overseas, you can probably get a seven that checks all the boxes. You know what I mean? So you can slightly upgrade on looks and age. You know what I mean? Which for a lot of men, it's more sexually stimulating to do that. And so this
So
is
so
this is. Go
to the
ahead.
se- so it's going back to the sexual component. All you guys care about is the sex. At the
Right.
end of
So
the day,
that's
you're not looking for no wife.
but you know what
That
that
goes
speaks
back
to,
to what I'm
Pedro?
saying with the porn and
That's
the
No, no,
webcams
no,
and
no,
all that
no,
other
no, no,
stuff.
no, no, no. Hold on, hold on, hold on. You do want
So
an attractive wife. You do want an attractive wife.
you
I've
trying to
been
get
a
but they're not getting married
yeah,
though.
but you looking for
They're not looking for wife.
damn near Miss America, Miss Columbia. You
no.
know, every and let me say this.
Shit.
Let me say this. Everybody can't drive a Mercedes Benz. Everybody can't drive an Aston Martin. Everybody's not going to have a Bentley. You know, only certain people are going to have a private jet. So these women, how attractive these women are, that's the fruits of your labor a lot of times. So in the US, you're not gonna get an 8 or 9 or 10 if your bread ain't right, or if your mouthpiece ain't right, or you don't look a certain way. You're not gonna get those. You're not gonna let me tell you something. The guys are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, they can get them. Oh, Hugh Hefner was 80 some years old. He was getting baddies because his paper was right. His
And
swag
I was
was
getting
right.
ready.
He
That's
he,
what makes
he
that's
had
what
the
I was
Well,
gonna
you
ask.
feel no. You should. I said
Listen.
hold on, Rico. I
Okay.
said check other boxes, not just being attractive. Because yeah, I could pull a. I live. I lived in Houston, so I was pulling sevens and eights easily. But the software wasn't there. You know what I mean? So and then the age component. So what I was able to get, let's say in these countries is for example, if
in the eight
if I'm
um
if if
in
I'm
the eight
40, hold on. If let's say if I'm 40 years old, I could probably comfortably get a woman in the U.S. You know, age 30. At the youngest age 30, and she could be a six, maybe a seven on her wedding day. Now
But
overseas, I can go down to probably age 25, and she might be a guaranteed seven or eight.
but
You know what I
don't
mean?
you
So
let me ask you a question. Why now this is what I want to understand. A 45-year-old man growing up in America, right? Now we know generally 99% of 45-year-olds are not dating 25-year-olds in the US, right? We know we date within a 10-year age difference, right? So if you're 45, you're lucky if you get to date a 35-year-old. You're probably dating women probably 40, because even women at 35 writ large, unless you got and I'm talking about the average guy that's not rich, that's not an entertainer. So a 45-year-old, so if I'm in America and my entire life and culture, I have been dating women that are 35 to 40 years of age. Why all of a sudden, when I go to Colombia or Brazil, my mental switches and I have to have a 25-year-old? That's what I'm not understanding. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, like, the argument is, oh, well, I can get that, but you never had to have it. So why all of a sudden is it an insatiable need? That's what I'm trying to because now I'm trying to think about the culture of the men that travel. What is it about the passport code that make them say, I have to have this?
let me. I got a new person on the panel. I think Ronnie, you could go. You could go next after GMT travels. What up? What up? What up, GMT?
What's up? What's up? What's going on, player?
And then I see a Ulysses. I don't think you got in yet. So after GMT, Ulysses, you can speak, and then Ronan. Go ahead, bro.
All right. So what y'all talking about? Getting better options overseas. I didn't hear everything y'all was talking about. Can you fill me in?
Real quick. so the stream I pretty much was ranting about, guys marrying marrying prostitutes, and how there's some, I feel like it's some psychological things that's going on both parties, and it's not really good for society and nation building. And it's contradictory to what guys complain about in the US. Guys complain about the good girls going after the pookies and the low hanging fruit in the US. But then on the other hand, the good guys are going for I ain't gonna say all, but some good guys, they're marrying the equivalent to a pookie overseas. So what I mean. So I'm talking about that I started off talking about that contradictory, and then now I'm just kind of mentioning that guys know overseas that can get a slightly more attractive and a slightly more younger woman that checks most of the boxes than they could in the US. So that's where we at.
Oh yeah, man, I definitely agree with that because I mean in the US right now, I still get like I'm 40. I get like 30, 35 to mid 40 chicks hitting on me in the US easy. Like they hit on me all the time. But when I'm overseas, shit, my chick's gonna be in there like from mid 20s to early 30s. And they look way better too, you know what I'm saying? So we just have more options. And I guess a lot of dudes, we're just going to exercise our rights. You know what I'm saying? Because you overseas, if you have better options, you're going to go for it. In the US, we have less options. So we got to do what we have to do. If I was in the US, I'd have to get an older chick right now. If I wasn't traveling, I probably would have had to get an older chick. But now that I'm overseas, I can get whatever I want. And and to your the first topic,
Your paper
huh?
ain't right.
Hold on, let them finish. Let
Your
them
paper ain't
finish. Go
right.
ahead. Let them finish. One person at a
on,
time.
on, and then on the first topic you was talking about the prostitutes. I don't like it, but at the same time I can see how certain kind of dudes can fall in love with a prostitute overseas because he's getting what he wants out the deal. Some dudes are just not used to chicks like catering to him, so I can see how a dude that never been anywhere can fall in love with a prostitute overseas. It's kind of messed up, but I can see it happening though
But
because I
but
mean a lot of
but but
dudes.
but should that relationship be public though? Should that relationship be public?
You know what? I feel what you're saying. I would say no, but at the same time, when the dude falls in love with a prostitute, he doesn't see her as a prostitute anymore. Because I've caught dudes in groups like telling on other dudes when they fall in love with prostitutes. So I see it all the time. So I notice when dudes fall in love with prostitutes, in their mind, she's not a prostitute anymore. So regular rules apply. They're not thinking about hiding her because in their mind, she's not a prostitute because they fell in love with her. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the psychology, and to me that's some psychological things going on. Let me get Ulysses in real quick.
Yeah, I agree with what everybody's saying. You know what? I was at the casino yesterday over here in Santiago DR, and I was next to this girl. I could tell she was a chaparrita, like a gold digger, right? And in her purse, she started busting out like the $100 singles. And I was thinking to myself, like, damn, some American is giving her money, and she's using this money on gambling and shit. But that's what's going on over here. You got a lot of guys that are spending money on these women, and the women are using the money on their boyfriends or on dumb shit. And that's what you're seeing over here. I saw that yesterday. I was like shocked. I was like, damn, this girl's getting money from this American. I know she is. But that's what happens over here in these third world countries.
Yeah, it's hold on real quick. Let me read this super chat real quick. Salute Backpack Val for the $10 super chat. He said niggas are important pros now more than ever. The rate that is going is alarming. See, I don't want to. I want to be careful with my words on YouTube, but I knew guys that was basically in the pimp game, and prostitute pimps were the only dudes I used to see prostitutes with, and pimps. I knew there were pimps that found ways to get girls to come to the U.S. so they can make money. You know what I mean? Not condoning that, not saying that was acceptable, but pimps looked at prostitutes as nothing else but income. Now there's guys that's doing indirect pimping. You know what I mean? So like I said, you know what I mean? No, I can't. I'm not gonna hate on the game. You know what I mean? Like some people, some people are doing it for strategic reasons, for money and things like that. My thing is again is that we complain about the issues in the matrix, and the biggest the foundation, the primary issue in the matrix. We talked about family. You know, a lot of guys talk about family court. All that stuff is centered around the family being broken. So the biggest issue we have is broken families, no fathers in the home, or people not being raised with certain morals and values. But we are contributing to the problem. We are still contributing to the problem that we are running from or complaining about. If nobody never, if this movement started with nobody complaining, people was just traveling, doing what they do, it really wouldn't be no point of calling people hypocrites or calling out anything. You know what I mean? But the movement started via complaining about society, women in the US, and a lot of guys made these women, and I hate to say some of these quote unquote hyenas was right. But when they said that you guys are going to go overseas and fuck up the culture over there, y'all gonna, you know, they were saying y'all could have them because they're gonna do y'all just like they do us, and y'all making these women look right and right every day. So Nagmeezy is in the building. I don't think he had a chance to speak yet, so I'm gonna let you go, Nagmeezy. If
Hey,
you might be muted.
salute.
Oh,
Yeah,
salute.
I'm having black man problems. Fried chicken grease popping all over the kitchen right now.
You good.
All right. So yeah, yo, it's a sad day in the travel space, and we talking about men wifing up prosties. Like that's crazy. The only reason why these men go overseas and say that it's better, and when you use the age thing and the boxes, there are no other boxes that you can check besides the fact that she's younger and it's more attractive box. They have no credit. They can't add anything to the relationship. Half the time, y'all can't even communicate with them. You know what I'm saying? They can't do your taxes. They probably can't raise the child because they're probably thinking like a child themselves. I just think this whole going across overseas to specifically to find a wife in a place where you don't understand the culture is just a cop out because American women have money and don't have to deal with your nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna get religious, but the Bible said if you must get married, you know what I mean. So the act is honorable, right? The act of marriage is an honorable thing to do. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Go ahead.
Wait, but
This is the
so
deal.
here's the thing. Could you tell me the other boxes? Because when you mentioned the boxes, you only mentioned young, someone that could keep your meat hard at night, pause, and yeah, that was pretty much it. So what are the other boxes that you can check with a foreign woman?
So I said that guys want an attractive younger woman that checks the boxes that they're looking for. So let's say some of them boxes may be in the U.S. I could get an attractive woman in the U.S., but she don't know how to cook. She has attitude problems. There's a power struggle. There's a power struggle in a relationship. You know what I mean? So so there's a lot of things. If we have a child together, I'm not, she's pushing back against me being an authoritarian figure. So there's so many unchecked boxes with women in the United States when it comes to physiological needs, right? So,
We're
but
both just
overseas,
doing what you just said, brother. So name me the country where the women don't have the same issues you just mentioned.
I would say, okay, Colombia. All right, Colombia, right? There's more women. There's more there's more women that just know how to cook, bro, and
Um,
clean good.
there's plenty of black women in America that know how to cook, or just American women
Per
that know.
percentage wise is less and has decreased percentage wise.
Can I get your stats? Can I get your source?
No,
He
but
doesn't have.
you don't need stats on the environment that you're familiar with, like because then now you're being disingenuous.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying
you
is
been-
y'all pull these fake stats as if you never had a black woman cook for you. Like,
No, nothing is absolute. I didn't say no black woman cook. I've met lots of black women that cook, but when we talk about this younger generation, you got to understand a lot of these countries in Latin America and Africa, they're in our version of their 1970s and 1980s, where women still have certain skills. They're not at where we at the US right now. So it's disingenuous to try to imply that all these third or second world countries are in modern times. No, they're not.
But no
no, but
excuses.
they are
Not-
though. Hold on, Uncle
Okay,
Rico.
yeah,
But they
okay.
are. When you try to dumb down third world countries and put them as if they're some sort of like they have some sort of arrested development, that's crazy. You look at Nigeria, some African countries, there's a lot of feminism going on out there. The internet has spread feminism all throughout the whole world. Now, everything that you said, you can find in America. So the thing is, the caveat here is the age difference. Brothers are going over there looking for a young, impressionable woman that's financially hooked or not responsible, but I'm messing up my languages right now. She's dependent on a man for his money. That's the only draw for a young woman out of the country to get with an older man. Y'all have nothing.
It's the same thing here. Women are still.
Hold on.
Good.
But y'all have nothing in common with these younger girls. So they take your money and they spend it on a young dude that they want to smash, and then they cook you some ceviche, and then you go to sleep, and then they sneak out the door and get smashed by Pablo. This is a fact.
Yeah,
Maybe in
but
Colombia, but not in Africa. But not in Africa, because I can tell you in Kenya, it's normal for like the white boys to take care of women, and they a home girlfriend. That's normal. That's normal, and they have to. They don't want to work. If a dude takes care of them, I'm saying maybe in Latin America they'll sneak out, but in some countries, if you take care of a chick, she's happy. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what they want. That's what they prefer. That's really the culture. That's what the locals do too. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it just depends how you look at it.
Financial. It's financial.
Spending money.
but
that's
hold
what you just
on.
inherited an asset.
I gotta push back on
asset.
I got to push back on Nagmeezy. Now, most of these countries don't have a welfare system, so they are not where we're at from the U.S. level. Women are still learning domestic duties from their parents. They're still learning how to cook and clean from their parents. In America, that practice has dwindled. Practice has dwindled.
No,
So
Says who? But
Let me
prove
just
that,
add- let me
because
just
that's
add
a
this.
lie.
No.
Let me add this one point about the cooking thing. And I think this is where you guys get lost. You make it a gender issue when it's more of a societal issue. America in 2024, we are built by convenience and affordability. We can afford a lot of takeout, fast food. That's a normative thing in America. So even if I agree with you that women are decreasing the cooking because we replace it with fast food, Uber Eats, things of that nature. In a lot of these countries, those women don't have that affordability. So let's face it, they don't have the choice but to cook. So
exactly, and therefore they have the skill, and therefore they have the skill.
But what I'm
What's
saying
going on, fellas? Let me jump in here real quick.
No excuses, but I'm
Let
just
me make
saying.
my final point on this.
Go ahead, Gan. Go ahead.
What's going on, fellas? Let me jump in here real quick.
Well, let me make my final point on this. Look, if you can't get a chick to cook for you, then you're slacking on your macking. Period.
Hold on. It's too many. Gans,
Don't go nowhere.
go, Gans. Go, Gans. Go ahead.
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to fix my phone. Nakneezy, don't go nowhere.
We can hear you. Nigga, if you ain't ready, I gotta pass the mic. Pause. All right, go, Nakneezy. Make your you can make your point. What you was gonna make.
Well, yeah. So what I was just saying is that if you can't get a woman in America to cook for you, then you're slacking on your macking. Fast food is worldwide, so people in general,
respectfully, the point that you making, it doesn't go for these younger women. You're talking about women in our age group. Yes, those type of women, 40, 50 years old, they know how to cook. These women in their 20s and their 30s, they don't know how to cook, and they're not trying to learn how to cook.
Exactly.
If you remember what Kevin Samuels had the girl on the platform, she said, I don't need a cookbook because they don't want to cook.
You're not there for the cooking. You there for the hookers. So you don't want. You don't care about.
Let them finish, because a person can't make a point when you change the subject. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that age group, 20, early 30s, they not trying to cook. They don't want to know how to cook. You know what I'm saying? They gonna order that fast food. They gonna order that Uber Eats, like Rico said. You know what I'm saying? And they not getting in that kitchen. They not cleaning. They not doing none of that shit. So honestly, what the hell I need you for?
Exactly.
So are you dealing with 20-something-year-old chicks?
I was.
Gangster,
You said, am I dealing with 20-something? No, I'm not. That's why I said that's why I said
I shouldn't be dealing with no little teeny boppers. If you're dealing with
that's why I said
that don't know how to wipe her ass yet, then something's wrong with you.
That's why I said our age group. They know how to cook and clean and all of that stuff because they were brought up the proper way. This new generation of women, they not doing it.
But Gaines, here's the problem with what you're saying. Like you said, when you talk about our age group, Nak himself is currently cooking now. Women and men were taught how to cook.
Right.
I was taught how to cook. So what I'm saying is, when they're making the argument that women don't know how to cook, these niggas don't know how to cook either. And they should know.
I can't say that.
Generation needs to be thrown in the fucking trash because it's all built around Uber Eats.
Hey Rico, I can only speak for myself. My son, he's 25 years old. I got him out there. I taught him how to fry that fish. I taught him how to grill. I taught him, but that's because a lot of these men, Rico, they don't have their fathers in their life.
Yeah, I taught my kids how to cook. Nigga, you gonna cook or starve?
No, because we grew up in an era. My great grandma. No man was allowed in the kitchen. You go to Africa. Like you go to a lot of these countries. Men aren't allowed in the kitchen. The women do the cooking, the cleaning.
Right. Men wasn't allowed in the kitchen. But during the summertime, the women wasn't allowed outside on that grill. But nowadays, how many women you see outside grilling?
But no excuse.
A whole lot of them.
Yourself. Are you niggas literally telling me y'all literally are eating out all the time?
No, I was raised. I was raised to have to learn how to cook. I have the skill.
Right. So what I'm saying is, when we talk about this, as Nak said, I think most of these women can cook. I just think the younger generation in the West is driven around convenience. It's about
you're proving my point that the United States is 10 to 20 years ahead of most of these other countries. So you can't say the women are the same because we are in modern times. You know what I mean? We are in modern times. That's why these other countries are quote unquote second world, third world countries.
But my question is this: if what you're saying is that you grew up, the 20-year-olds grew up in a generation where women never cooked, how all of a sudden something you've never experienced is such an important fucking box to check? Nigga, you ain't never had nobody cooking for you. So why are you going to Brazil or Colombia looking for somebody that can cook?
No, you entitled. There's a fine line on.
No. What I'm saying is you never had it. So
no, but I get what you're saying, but there's a fine line between dick policing and trying to, and trying to encourage men to and try to be on code as men. You know what I mean? What we supposed to try to do as men, like women do, we supposed to have some type of general code. We don't all have to agree on everything, see everything. We should have some general code. We don't have a general code amongst men. You know what I mean? We divided on paying for pussy. We divided on, wifing certain chicks. Like, we don't have any code amongst ourselves where at least the majority of men share a certain code. We divided on everything.
And we can't even unite as black people.
We as men in general, we divided on a lot of issues. We divided.
I mean, that's human nature, though. There's no set of humans that adhere to the same code.
Women are on more on code with more things than men are. The collective.
You get a lot of women that speak down on the passport bros. You get a lot of women that speak up on the passport bros. Mm-hmm. You got feminist women. You have traditional minded women. Mm-hmm. So people in general are not a monolith. So when you say we as men, are you speaking about us as black men or just men around the world have no code?
Well, I can only speak about the men that I'm familiar with men in our community versus women versus black women in our community. Like, we can't be disingenuous. Most guys in this chat can say, put a 1 in the chat if y'all feel like black women are more on code with each other than black men. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree black women are more on code with each other. Put a 2 on the chat if y'all disagree. Because you have to be able to generally speak. You have to be able to be generally speaking.
Yeah, but
if everything has to be
no code, because society is not codified. Society is made up of a whole bunch of different cultures, needs, wants, interests. So what interests me as someone from Brooklyn doesn't interest someone from the Bronx or from the South to the Midwest. We have different interests as men and people. So there is no code, especially when we're talking about women and paying for this and doing all of that stuff. Got a lot of dudes that's against it, some dudes that's for it. There's no code. There is no code.
Women have created a code that, these niggas gotta pay if they want to smack. I'm talking on the United States. These women have conditioned women to be on code as far as setting certain financial expectations on a man. Women are on code when if your boyfriend or your husband try to shoot his shot at me, I'm gonna tell on him. You know what I mean? So women are on code more with guys doing conniving things. Men on the other hand, they're not going to go back. They're not going to necessarily go back to they woman and say, oh, you know what, your friend tried to talk to me, your friend tried to have sex with me.
Men do that all the time, brother. You generalize and you
men do not be snitching like that, man. Okay.
Wait, but hold on. How many chicks have smashed their best friend's man? Thousands. Now, when men think about doing that, they understand that there is a high level threat of violence for doing that, because we'll start busting them guns. Females will start scratching faces. So your first point is moot.
No, it's not. Women are more likely to snitch, even if they're the ones that are the culprit of the backstabbing. They'll tell on themselves more than often than a man even would.
brother, I don't know what kind of point you be making, brother. I fucks with you, but you just be generalizing and making stuff that don't make any sense at all.
Let me
But it's making sense to a lot of people in the chat.
But
no, but a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people in.
Can I say this real quick, Nick? Can I say
go
this
ahead,
real quick, please?
Go ahead, bro.
So let me say this, and I don't like throwing blame on anybody, but at the same time, sometimes men can make bad choices based on their desperation, based on the fact the woman looks a certain way, and they're trying to get their rocks off. And then they compound that problem by continuing to go back, even though they know that woman might be a bad morals and ethics. Now, a woman, you can't blame her for selling a dream. She's going to sell the dream of the fantasy of you being with her. She's desirable to you. She knows that. She's going to play on that. That's a woman's nature, to play on the things that she knows are her strengths to get the things she wants to get. You know what I'm saying? So you have to look at all those things. It's not just on the woman. The man's the one supposed to have the discernment to know whether that woman's good or not. And you
know what's funny? A lot of guys will cape. A lot of guys, and you see this with the dating coaches too, right? A lot of guys will cape for American women, but have no receipts. No receipts.
What receipts?
Peso a cape for American woman.
I'll cape for him.
You cape for him?
Women, absolutely.
Yes.
But there's no receipt.
Any foreign dirty foot up against Black American women will run circles around them. In education, in earning potential, in being able to build a team to get something, in child rearing, all of that shit. Like, come on, give me a country. And then I'll ask you to speak the language of that country and how you can build something with that woman. And
all right, let me. Hold on.
But you don't live here.
Hold on one second. Hold on. Let me. Hold on.
Who said that?
Hold on.
Give me. You don't live in America, Nat.
Hold on. I don't want to mute Mike. I don't want to have to mute Mike.
I got houses I got a house in America, a house in the Caribbean, and a house in Europe. Get your money up, my nigga. Go on there, no excuses.
What? Give me three examples of people on YouTube, on guys on black men on YouTube that appear to have flourishing, healthy relationships with black women on YouTube.
How about this? How about I call out?
No, I asked you a question, bro. No. You don't answer a question with a question.
No. I'm gonna because it's a loaded question, brother. I
can name one off the top of my head.
Hold on, Rico. Hold on. You was on here before me, brother. Let me cook. You see, it's a loaded question, so a loaded question has to be called out. So first, I'm gonna call out the ridiculousness of you trying to use YouTubers as some sort of model for relationships in the real world. Most of these YouTubers are lying. So that just knocks your point out the box.
Yeah, but we're all first of all, we're on YouTube. The conversation is related to what we see on YouTube, so it's in context.
But no excuse. You're
too old to be blamed to be modeling your life after
no, because you're not providing any empirical receipts on how good these women in the U.S. is.
What you mean opinions? I'll give you receipts. We can do GDP for Black America, right? And then women will be slightly under Black American men, right?
No, we're talking about dating and relationships.
I'm gonna go there. So we can go finances, education, healthcare, child, infant mortality rates. You give me the country, and then we'll compare them to Black American women, and you'll lose very badly.
No, comparing is not. Comparing is different from providing receipts.
Hey, Marty W, eat a fat dick, bitch ass nigga.
Provide receipts.
But there can't be receipts for social conversations.
But you're no different than these guys saying how good these foreign women are that don't got no receipts.
No, wait,
you're no different.
I have the receipts though.
No, it's
When
not
you,
just
all you
America.
have to do is
You
go to
gotta
the
include
box.
the West.
You have to
gotta
tell me
include
what box you're checking, and your box was that they cook more. And I responded that if you can't get a chick to cook for you, then you're slacking on your macking. No matter where it is in the world, a chick should be wanting to cook for you. Unless she looks at you as an old
there's
trick.
there's just as many guys. I would say this. There's guys that got women cooking for them in the U.S. and there's guys that got women cooking from them overseas. We two things can be true at the same time. You know, my main observation is that whatever a guy can get in the U.S., he can get overseas a slightly more younger and or attractive woman for the same woman he can get. And there's nothing wrong if you get a better deal. If I buying a house in Texas is a better deal than me buying a house in California.
But you're speaking about women as commodities, and you keep honing in on the age.
Now you sound like some of these women.
No, wait, but
no excuses.
Women
No
like
excuses.
commodities, which is why you're having trouble with women, brother.
No excuses.
When you talk about it's like when guys talk about women with high mileage and a woman say, "Oh, you're going to compare me to a car?" No, that is a female talking point. That is a female talking point.
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
You're approaching middle age, and you talk about you're looking for 25.
Yeah, we can hear you, Gans.
Foreign. Come on, man.
Can I?
Not me personally.
Well, then
I get what you're saying.
Not you personally.
Nagneezy, let me say this. You, Rico, I think Peso's on here too. But especially you and Peso. Y'all are in America dealing with these women. You're out of touch, brother. These women, these black women nowadays, they don't care about their appearance. They come outside any kind of way they want to look. Yesterday, a friend of mine sent me a picture of a woman.
Says the fattest guy on the panel.
I'm too. Hey, Nat, I just got on the scale this morning.
You don't have enough body game to talk about women's looks.
Hey, Nat, I just got on the scale this morning. I'm sorry to say you heavier than me, brother. I'm 215 pounds.
Salute. Now let's keep it going.
But listen, a friend of mine just sent me a picture of a chick on Ocean and Parkside. I'm pretty sure you know where that's at. The McDonald's on the corner, right? You know where I'm talking about, right? In Flatbush. She's standing on the corner in her sleepwear, her pajamas, a pajama set, Crocs, and motherfucking in a bonnet. This is at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. This is what we're dealing with in America, especially in New York, Nat. Brother, respectfully, you're out of touch. You're not over here. You're not dealing with these women. So, I mean, you can cake for the sisters all you want, but you're out of touch.
All respect due, my brother. You acting like I'm not from the city. Like they didn't have that in the 90s too. You gotta elevate the type of chicks that you're interacting with.
Hold on, brother. Let me finish. But the environment's giving you that. But the environment is giving you all of these type of chicks.
Again, sir, hold on. Let me finish. While you a chick in a bonnet and pajamas don't even catch my eye, bro. And those type of chicks are all over the world. They got them here in Europe. I see them all the time. So it's not about America. It's about worldwide culture in general is going down the shithole. And there's not a country on the planet that's immune to it. That's my point.
But it's more prevalent in America.
Hold on,
it's more prevalent. Per capita is more prevalent.
Go ahead, JBL. You got the floor.
I'm just saying, like it's more prevalent in America. It's more prevalent. The odds of seeing that it's more widespread amongst different class groups and so on and so forth. It's just where it's the society, man. It's the environment, bro. Is the environment is trash. So why would I waste time, right? Trying to get that 4-leaf clover. You know what I mean? In a field full of weeds where I can go to another pasture and just do better because the odds are better of hitting it. You know what I'm saying?
Of
So
course, the odds are better to get a dirty foot prostitute. Yes, you know what? I gotta do it for all y'all brothers. For all y'all brothers, tell me who your best dating coach is. I will pay for a session so we can teach y'all niggas how to get some game. Because y'all can't get no pussy in America. That's a shame.
Bro, I got a wife, bro. I got a full-fledged wife, dog, and I go overseas. You know what I'm saying? And she know I go overseas, bro. I got one. You know what I'm saying? But the point is, it ain't about getting pussy. And I fucked something the other day. You know what I mean? It's really, it ain't about that. The question, honestly, bro, it ain't about that, man. About whether you can or cannot get pussy. The situation that the environment is trash. We know this. And like, bro, why are you defending that the environment is good? It's not. I don't understand that. We all can see.
JBL, tell me the place that has this utopia of women. JBL, please tell me.
Yeah.
Okay, for me, it's the motherland. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the motherland, specifically East Africa.
What country? What country?
Oh, okay, Kenya. I just go off of just, you know what I'm saying? I'll just say Kenya. And it's closer to the States than all of them, but it's still a way better situation.
Let me see whoever.
Way better.
Hey, Nat.
Let me pass it around. Let me pass
the streets right now. I should turn on my camera and show you, let you see what's going on out here.
Hold on, again. Let me get some people that haven't spoken in a while. GMT or Ulysses, y'all want to, or Tony, y'all want to say anything?
Yeah, man. I think you definitely get a better deal in Africa, and I think more brothers should come to Africa because I think in Latin America, what they chasing is a lot more prostitutes out there. But in Africa, you can get you a good woman with a job, or you can get a woman you can take care of, whatever you want. The options are here for you. It's not just like the pay for play like Latin America. You know what I'm saying? You can get you a real good woman out here. You can I dated lawyers out here. Some chicks. That young professional woman, you get anything you want, like a real woman, a real girlfriend, a real wife. If that's what you're looking for, I think Africa is the best bet for that. But that's it.
Well, the main thing is like I said again, if guys want let's just say if guys want 9s and 10s, right? There are a couple ways. There's a couple ways that people are going about it. I'm using the Arab for example. The Arabs, the 9s and 10s that they get them as side pieces or prostitutes. That's how they get their 9s and 10s, right? Other guys do it too, pay for play for 9s and 10s. Some guys feel like they got to go overseas and marry a 9 and 10 that's very flawed. You know.
Oh, yo. One thing, Cleo. I got Yemenis homeboys. Quick thing. I got a Yemenis homeboys. They all date chicks in the U.S. and Michigan, but they all marry their wives from Yemen. They all go back to Yemen and get virgin wives. They play with the American. The Yemenis girls from America don't even marry them. They play with the American girls when they up in Michigan, and then they all go back to Yemen to get their virgin wives. All of them. I got a bunch of Yemenis homeboys.
The saying goes, this is an old ass saying, man. You fuck 9s and 10s and you marry 6 and 7s. Point blank.
I want to ask you a question because you talked to JBL, you talked about environment. So I want to ask you guys, have you ever lived in the hood? I mean, like the project shit, right? So we wouldn't say that the majority of America is projects. We know that there are projects scattered throughout America, but that's not the majority of America. So in that environment, we know we get a certain type of people because it's poverty driven. People in poverty spaces talk a certain way, act a certain way, dress a certain way, look a certain way. When we get tired of that shit, we level the fuck up and we move out to the suburbs and to better spaces. Then we're around better classes of people. So when I hear this argument, I know that there are pockets.
Oh, okay.
Let me finish. That will okay. I can go to certain pockets. I'm outside the DC area. I go to certain hoods, and that's all I'm gonna see. But I don't stay in those fucking places. I elevate myself to a better space where I see a better group of black women, and that's the problem. I think those women are being ignored, and we're saying that the hood, America, is one big fucking project full of project ass broads, and that's not true.
Can I rebut? Can I rebut just real quick with that? It's an anecdotal rebuttal, but it speaks to what it speaks to counter to what you're saying.
Hey,
So
Ronan, can you drop the link? Go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I drive Uber. Okay, so I drive Uber, right? And for on the side, and so there is a conversation. These weren't even black women at all. This was two women. One was Asian, one was white, early 30s. And I'm just listening to their conversation, right? One is, I picked them up in a very, very nice suburb, high area, a very nice hotel, right? Taking them to the airport. They're having this conversation between each other. This is to speak to like how the environment is skewed all the way up, all across the social classes, right? So there's, they were going back and forth about how freaking, the white one was talking to the Asian. They were saying, one was like, yeah, my boy, this guy I was seeing, whatever, he's in, in a different part of the country. She didn't want to go there because she doesn't want to give up her career. And the other one was agreeing and was like, yeah, to be honest with you, I've seen so many women get dealt badly or what have you, screwed over. I really feel like, I should just, it'd be better just to have a kid on my own. These are two women in their late 20s, early 30s, having this same conversation that in our community has already been. We've already had the independent woman. See, what I'm saying? That was back in the 80s and the 90s. But look, it has seeped all across the classes. You know what I mean? Like to hear this, what I'm saying? These women of this particular social status having this, I don't need a man independent shit. It's everywhere, bro. And you can't get away from it. And that's an environmental thing, not a quote unquote, what I'm saying, just a hood thing or anything. It's all across the board.
This comment makes a lot of sense. Shout out to Man123. He said it's pointless to compare American women's net worth to foreign women because if a foreign woman came to the U.S., they'd run the bag up too. It's the environment. That's a fact.
I agree with that.
What we're saying is this environment that enriches us to have the ability to go overseas and be in the top 5% is the problem. And we have to admit that the environment is affecting us both, not just the women. We got to be fair, okay? If it's affecting the women, it's clearly affecting the men.
Yeah, it's affecting both.
We're not
gender identity,
right?
Yeah, gender
Go ahead, Tony.
is a real crisis. No, I was saying things like gender identity is a real crisis. You can identify as whatever the fuck you want in America. Some kid in my brother's high school identified as a wolf, so they had to refer to him as Wolfie. Fucking high school. A senior in high school back in New York. When I grew up in New York, when I went to Martin Van Buren, you would get your ass whipped for shit like that. It wouldn't even be a thing. That's what I'm saying. It's weird. America is weird.
But Tom,
right now,
nobody thinks you guys are
America is the greatest country on the planet.
Let me read the super chat real quick.
Not just America. I'm sorry, Brazil. Not just USA. I mean,
America. Let me read the super chat real quick.
All that shit.
Old Country Boy said, if you're not dating a woman under 30, please stop talking. Appreciate the super chat.
Country girl don't have no game, so he ain't getting no pussy.
Now I will say this: yes, America is the greatest country on earth. Over when you add up all the things, positive, negative, yes, America is the greatest country.
Economically, it is.
Exactly.
Economically,
make money. That's it.
That's about it.
No, economically, militarily wise,
technology,
efficiencies,
protections against employer, protections against. Well, I'm not going to get too. We have a lot of protections.
But no excuse. What's the number one complaint most guys got overseas? Because I know for me, when I go to the DR, how fucking inefficient, backwards, slow shit is. People in Africa are constantly crying how hard it is to get shit over there and the tax. So there's a lot of things for granted. The road.
I've moved to different. I lived in 6 different cities in the United States. I haven't mustered up the the courage to live in another country yet, because it's hard to leave the United States, especially when you got a lot of shit going for you. You know what I mean? The best I'm willing to do is split my year between the US and another country. That's just me. You know what I mean? Different guys are in different points of their life. You know what I mean? Everybody's situation is different. But yes, the United States is the greatest country in the world. But as it pertains to dating and relationships, and dating includes casual dating includes pay for play. I mean, obviously it's a better deal because guys got the receipts to prove it. So I don't want us to talk in circles. So I have a 2-part question. I'm gonna pass to the panel, and that'll be kind of like everybody closing statements. So I usually go with the last person that came in. So it's a 2-part question. You know what I mean? The first part is, do good girls finish last overseas just like good guys finish last in the US? That's the first part. The second part is that if guys want 9s and 10s, whether it's for sex or for marriage in the US or overseas, then what should they do? So we'll start with I don't know who dropped that. We'll start with who's the international. I can't read everything. I'm on international.
Salute to the panel. Got a lot of people I'm cool with on here, so salute to everybody.
Hey, what's up, Al?
You said do good girls finish last like good guys finish last in the States?
Yeah, so you might have missed the beginning of the stream, but basically I'm saying that like there's hypocrisy, because men will say that good guys finish last in the United States because the good girls in the US, they'll go for the bad boys, and therefore good guys finish last. Conversely, overseas, these quote unquote good guys that are traveling overseas, they're not going after the good girls in these foreign countries, they're going after the bad girls. So I'm saying, so that's why I titled the stream saying good girls are finishing last, the same way good guys are finishing last in the US.
I think a good girl is going to win regardless. I think if she's fit, feminine, friendly, submissive, as they were saying, cooks, cleans, does her wifely duties, then she's going to get chosen. She's going to get scooped up. But guys are a little bit different. If you too nice, if you too overly friendly as a dude, then you get punished by society for that. So I think it's a little bit different.
Well, I mean, if guys are marrying and wifing prostitutes and hoes overseas, opposed to the good girls, some of the good girls may feel like dang, like, you know, the hoes are winning. There's foreign women overseas that see that, like, man, these hoes winning. These Instagram hoes winning, these OnlyFans hoes winning. So good girls overseas can see that too.
I mean, it looks like bad girls in the States are winning because they on private yachts and private jets and all that stuff, and it seems like they're winning. They're winning short term, but they're not going to get married. They're habitual side chicks. Nobody will take that serious. So, I mean, from the outside looking in, yeah, it might look like that. And it depends on what you define as winning. If winning is getting a husband, you know, getting locked down, having a family, then the good girls are getting scooped up at a young age. They're getting scooped up everywhere at a young age, you know. And then the ones that are left over in their late 20s, early 30s, all that shit, yeah, they still might get somebody to wipe them up. Do they respect them? Do they respect the dude that's coming over there wiping them up whenever they're ex-worker and they've been with a million dudes and you still coming over paying full price for that? Do they respect them? Nah. Does the relationship last? Probably not. Or are they just using them for their money? So that's my opinion on that.
All right. Now the second question is, and then I'm gonna drop you down, is if guys want 9s and 10s, you know, at a discount. Let's just keep it a bean. If guys want 9s and 10s at a discount, how should they go about it? How should they go about it? Whether they want a 9 or 10 for a wife, or for casual dating, or we're gonna leave it casual dating and for a wife. Pay for play. Anybody can do that.
So we're talking about pros. We're talking about pros
A
or regular
9 or
chicks.
10. I'm gonna give my opinion on 9s and 10s, but your opinion on a 9 and 10. You know, some people think all 9s and 10s are pros. Some may think, they're regular girls 9s, 10. Just in general, if a guy wants a 9 or 10, whether for casual dating, or for marriage, how should he go about getting it?
I mean, you got to level up and be the best version of yourself to get a 9 or a 10. Depending on what you're looking for, if you're overseas, learning the language definitely helps with that. You're not going to be able to really have a successful relationship using Google Translate. So you got to learn the language. You got to get in the gym. You got to work hard. You got to, be that, provider that if you wanted to just stay at home and do that, then you got to be a provider. That kind of stuff. Just leveling up. That's the only real reason, the only real way that you can really get that is just being the best version of yourself. You got to have a good mouthpiece. You got to have charisma. You got to dress well. You got to smell good. All that stuff.
Okay, now marrying a prostitute, that's a 9 or 10. Is that the cheat code, or if that's the only way you could get a 9 or 10 is a prostitute? Do you agree? Are you empathetic to that? Even if you might have,
I don't recommend marrying a prostitute at all, man. It's no, you're not winning at all by marrying a prostitute. Just because you got, you're in the company of a 9 or a 10, but that's not winning at all.
All right, cool, bro. I appreciate you coming up, man. Let me read the super chat. Nagmeezy, appreciate the 11 euros. He said, I feel sorry for brothers that gotta buy box overseas. Old what'd he say? Old Wilkin potting up ass niggas, man. Salute Nagmeezy, man. JBL, you can go next, man. Did you get the two-part question, or do I need to repeat it?
Nah, man. I kind of agree with the last guy that just stated, bro. I don't really believe like fucking with a 9 or 10 for marriage. Honestly, you at a disadvantage. You know what I mean? It's too much maintenance. You know what I mean? She's too into herself. My chick need to be into me more than I'm into her. Period. That's just kind of how I flow. So I don't.
Somebody got
I would
background noise. Shit.
Yeah, it probably is myself. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But yeah, that's my whole point. I don't even fuck with it. I would never want a 9 or a 10 for a wife, period, on any level. That's just me personally.
And do you think guys are passing up good girls overseas for pros? Are good girls finishing last overseas?
I don't think so. You know what I mean? I fuck. See, the thing, when you fuck with good girls, more or less, they're not 9s or 10s. You know what I mean? They're average looking people. I consider myself an average looking guy, so I just mess with average looking women. You know what I'm saying? I just stick in my lane. And if you're willing to do that, if that's okay with you, then you know what I mean. There's plenty of them out there. There's more of them out there. Your odds of getting one is much more to me overseas than it would be. You know, and I'm specifically talking about Africa because I don't want to fuck with Latin America. But yeah, in my opinion, it's much better option.
All right, cool, man. Appreciate you coming up, JBL. Let me get GMT Travels.
Yo, what's up? Yeah, well, I'll say with 9s and 10s overseas, it's gonna be kind of hard to in a real relationship because all my real relationships they've been at least like 8s overseas. Because the 9s and 10s overseas, even Africa, you got to bring your A game. Because a lot of dudes white, because you got Nigerians out here spending money, you got the white boys out here wifing the tall bad ones, and then you got the local dudes they wifing they catch them real early, the ones that are like more traditional. So if you want 9s and 10s overseas, man, you got to bring your A game.
Okay, okay. And do you think good girls are being passed over for
In
pros?
Africa, I would say no, because most of the dudes that I know got real girlfriends out here. They're regular girls. They look normal. They look normal, regular girls. And I say that's the best way to go if you want a real girlfriend over here. Because the most of the dudes, yeah, I know who got girlfriends. They have regular good girls, non-pros, just regular chicks. Most dudes that I know, So, and I think in Africa is different from Latin America. 'Cause I think in Latin America, it's just a lot more pros running around. In Africa, it's not really that same level of pros. You have some girls that just want to get money on the weekend or something here and there, but you don't have that same hardcore level either. So it's like the non-pros are so easy in Africa. There's really no point in paying unless you just want to enjoy the moment or something. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Latin America where you have to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to do it. And there's so many non-pros in Africa. You don't even have to do that if you don't want to. You know what I'm saying? And there's so much good girls out here. Most dudes I know in relationships have good girls. So yeah.
All right, cool, bro, man. I'm gonna drop you down, man. Appreciate you coming up.
All right, for sure.
All right. Neck to the Measy, man. You there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here, man. You know, crying for y'all, shedding a tear for my brother. And that was a reference to my comment was a reference to Eddie Murphy on Saturday Night Live. It was like working Panub in all the wrong places. It's basically looking for love, ass ninjas. That's what we got here. Let's start with the 9 and 10s. One man's 10 is another man's 8, right? So it's all perspective. For me, for a woman to be a 10, she has to bring more than the box and just her face. Because at a certain point in your life, you have to look past the low level superficial BS. You know what I'm saying? Then when you look at this movement and a lot of brothers that's involved with it, all they are is about the flesh. They're not trying to build anything. They're really not trying to marry. There are some exceptions to that rule, but the majority that I see in these spaces are guys that are just going down to pay for box, and they crap on the Black American woman. In the process, we have to protect our queens, our Black queens at all costs. So I say, you give me a group of whatever women from whatever countries y'all like, and I'll give you a group of Black American women, judges, lawyers, politicians. There's no comparison, whether it be Africa, whether it be whatever. One brother made mention to Africa. Do you know 304s in Africa run rampant? And they're being sent by their husbands to target foreigners, as a matter of fact. So the game is crazy. I just say work on yourself, get your body game on point, get your money game on point. Listen to Knock Measy. I'll teach you dudes how to get boxed. I've been getting boxed, the finest of the fine New York City Latinas, Blacks, whatever you want to call it, since I was 17, 16 years old. So I could teach y'all broke dusty dick niggas a thing or two of how to get some box.
Now, even though you cape for U.S. women, do you think that guys are passing up, let's say, educated women overseas, women that are, the good, basically the equivalent of a good girl? Do you think guys are passing those type of women up for pros?
It depends on who we're speaking about. I'm not going to include all Black men that travel in the passport bro movement, which I believe started out as a good thing, but it's been hijacked by a bunch of undesirables. So if we take the undesirables out, it depends on your social circle. So if you are a lawyer, then you run in circles of lawyers, and then you have access to the so-called good women. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think because of the hijack of that movement, a lot of Black men that travel are now being seen as mongers. I wouldn't been telling people since 2002 that the Black man needs to experience the rock star that we are, or at least that we were at this point, out of the country. Get your passport, travel, and just live life. But now I can't say that anymore because we've gotten a lot of riffraff, and our image is taking some hits.
Okay, man. Well, always a pleasure, man. With your perspective, man. Peace out. All right, let me get all right, Pan African. Do I need to catch you up, or you been following the stream?
See, I've seen a little bit of it. Just give me a brief synopsis.
All right, well, let me just so we're doing closing statements. So I'll just the first question is guys that want 9s and 10s, how should they go about getting that, whether it's in the US or abroad? Some guys feel like their best shot of a 9 or 10 is a prostitute. Other guys have said getting a 9 or 10, you have to improve on yourself. So how should guys go about getting a 9 or 10, whether it's for marriage or casual dating? And then the other part is that do good girls finish last overseas like good guys finish last in the United States? Basically meaning that in the US, good guys are passed over because the women go after the Pookies and Ray Rays. Conversely, overseas, you know, the notion is good girls are being passed over and the guys are going after the equivalent Pookies and Ray Rays of women in those countries. So that's where we're at right now.
Okay, so for the second question, overseas, good girls definitely aren't being passed up.
Okay.
I think you do have a segment of travelers that may be into, like, the debauchery. They just gotta have that 9 or 10 or that you know freaky hoish chick. I mean, there are some guys like that, but even with those guys, you still have a lot of travelers that are looking for good women, traditional women. And if the travel guys don't pick those traditional women up overseas, then the local dudes will. Because even when you go to different countries overseas, I mean, you do see more women getting more westernized, getting into whole culture and stuff like that in the capital cities. But a lot of those top guys in those capital cities overseas, what they'll do is they'll have fun with those more westernized women, and they'll go to like the smaller city or the village or like a smaller area and wipe those chicks up and marry them. And
Right.
they'll keep the more westernized chick as like side chicks or just friends with benefits type stuff. And let me see. You said the first question. What was
About
the first question again, real quick?
about 9s or 10s.
Oh, 9s or 10s. So the easiest way to get 9s or 10s is pay for play, of course. But depending on what country you're in, like you can find a loyal 9 or 10, depending on how she was raised. But it's gonna be a lot harder. But if you just want to not like a lot of guys that come from the West, they don't really have experience with 9 or 10s. They never gotten one. And so it's like it's almost like on a bucket list type thing. You know what I mean? Like they just, they got to get it out their system, have a little fun with a couple bad chicks or whatever. And I would say if you just want to get the experience, just do pay for play. And I'm not a big pay for play guy. I'm not a big proponent of pay for play, and I'm kind of neutral to it. But
Mhm.
if you want to, the easiest way to save time and money, and you just want to scratch that itch and smash a couple 9s and 10s without having to worry about cheating and stuff like that, then I would say pay for play is the way to go.
For sure, for sure. Yeah. I agree with that. Appreciate that, bro. Let me read the super chat real quick. Tony for the $2 super chat. Yes, 68 in the chat. Let's go. Appreciate everybody that's tuning in, man. But yeah, I'm dropping people down as they close off, man. So appreciate you coming up, Pan African. All right. Who this? Ronan. You got the floor, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 9s and 10s overseas. Man. Obviously, a lot of these guys already hit on this point. If you want a quick 9 or a 10, you're gonna have to pay for it. And at the end of the day, if she's a prostitute 9 or 10, is she really a 9 and 10 overall? You know, there's a lot of 9s and 10s overseas that are already built into the social class. You already have wealthy people already competing for them. So they're going to come with a different type of attitude. If you're not ingrained into that social circle, if you don't carry yourself a certain way, there's no way you're going to meet those 9s and 10s on a regular basis overseas without doing that, if they're not pay for play. You know what I'm saying? So all this stems from content of character. You know, how you carry yourself, whether you make yourself belong, whether you ingrain yourself in the community by learning, you know, their culture, learning their language, you know, endearing yourself to the people there. You know, those are the ways you're going to find a 9 or 10, as long as you're staying there for a long period of time. You going over there as a weekend warrior or for 1 or 2 weeks or so, that's not going to be enough for you to get a 9 or 10 overseas. Sorry, it's not going to happen. You know, as far as good girls, man, it's always going to be easier to find a good girl overseas. Unfortunately, in America, they're blended in with the bad ones. They're all friends. You know what I'm saying? They dress alike. It's like they put on like a sniper's outfit, you know, in order to blend in, even though they could be good quality women. You got to wade through all the bad ones to get to that one good one that might be in the group. You know, so it comes down to your discernment, how she carries herself. You're going to have to talk to them. You know, a lot of people don't know how to have a conversation. They're more apt to be on a computer and typing in a fucking dating app than knowing how to physically talk to another woman and figure out the discernment. And then you got all the fantasy women that are IG, TikTok. You got OF models. Everybody else contributing to society as far as hiding, again, that good girl. Because what are men? We're visual creatures. We're looking at the outside. We're not looking at the content of her character, her heart, her loyalty, the things that actually matter. A brother brought up earlier, I would rather deal with a solid 6, 7 than to go for a 9 and 10. I agree. You know, unless she's some outlier 9 or 10, you're always going to have to worry about somebody imposing themselves on that woman to try to get her away from you. Not that I'm afraid of competition. I've dated them all, you know, but to have peace, you know, if she's not that person, you know, you're going to turn yourself gray real fast. And I've seen a lot of young guys younger than me, way grayer.
A headache. No, for sure, man. Well, appreciate you coming up, bro.
Hey, I'm working on that, man. I'm working on my little avatar, bro. I'm trying to get it to my age range, and I'm working on it. He's saying my voice and my avatar don't go together. Appreciate you always. No excuse for allowing me on the panel. Look forward to always great conversations and a variety of panelists to give their opinions. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Oh, Krusty Rico, man.
It always comes down to me and you, don't it?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Man. So let me run it back. And I'll say this. The funny thing about it is I kind of agree with most of the closing, especially I definitely 1000% support JBL message as far as I'm always looking for a 6 or a 7, because I think that's a more comfortable space. And you know, so that should be the norm. I also believe personally that, like, out of all of human conditions, the overwhelming 90 to 95% of humans look very average anyway. There are very few percentage-wise of people that are considered exceptionally beautiful, you know, where we would say a 9s and 10s. Most people are anywhere from a 4 to a 7. A few people trickle to an 8. And then there's a small percentage of people that are just really objectively unattractive. Most human beings look like human beings. So what are we talking about when we say you have this large percentage of men or women expecting exceptionally beautiful people? That's just insanity. It's insanity. You haven't grown up with it. If you think about all the schools you went through, you haven't had a ton of beautiful people in your life. So, you know, why you think you should get it? I think it's insane. It's a fact when you go overseas. If you're with, I would say, an 8, 9, or a 10, it's a pro. It's a pro, factually. Because here's one thing I do know: 9s and 10s have been beautiful pretty much all their life. That beautiful woman was a pretty kid. They've been told they've been pretty all their life. And just like they know, just like you see her and you see how beautiful she is, all the men of that country have been telling her that as well. So she knows she's premium. So she's going to expect premium. And 9 times out of 10 in their countries, absence the pros, they're always the most favored, and they're being hit on by the well-to-do men of their countries. So we never get an opportunity for them, period. We just don't. So even if I saw a passport bro or a Westerner with a strikingly drop-dead gorgeous woman, I'm going to know that that woman has history. Because you're just not going to Colombia and getting the most beautiful women. They're with Colombian men. The same thing with Brazil, the same thing in the DR. That's what those countries are. Now, if you're with a beautiful woman, that woman got some kind of history. Maybe she's divorced and got a couple of kids. So then at that point, they become tainted to the upper echelon of society. So that the bottom line is, and flat out, passport bros love hoes. We stop playing. They almost universally in the upper 90%, 95% of passport bros, no matter what country they go to, they always go to a city in that country that has a high rate of pay for play. They go to westernized, they leave westernized America complaining about how westernized it is, and literally will go overseas and go to the most westernized fucking city in that country. How do you go to Thailand and end up in Bangkok and fucking Pattaya? Those are two of the most westernized cities in Thailand. How do you go to Sosua? Those are the westernized cities in the Dominican Republic. They need to stop playing like they hate, because that's your comfort zone when you take your black ass overseas. You're not trying to go to a village and be the only nigga up in the village and having to learn the language. They're not trying to do that. They want the Uber Eats. They want the restaurants. They want westernized, but what they desire is women that are poor, where they have an economic advantage over, so that then they have the upper hand. And that's going to be pros that gravitate towards these cities to also take advantage of foreigners coming over there being fucking thirsty. So that's what they get. As far as to your narrative around the good girls finishing last, I would say yes and no. I think for passport bros and the travelers coming overseas, absolutely the good girls finish last. Because a flat out passport bros love hoes, period. They love hoes. You know it. I know it. They'll wife them up. They love hoes.
I love them too.
But here's the thing. Where the good girls are still winning in these countries, no excuses, is they're winning among the locals. That's where they're winning, because the local men are not picking the hoes over the good girls. They are preferring the good girls. But, so the good girls win among the locals, but they lose among the passport bros, and they lose among even the regular white travelers, because to get a good girl in those countries, you need to invest at least 3 to 6 months, and most of those lazy motherfuckers are not going to do it. Especially if you got to tell him, well, I'm not fucking you on the first date. You ain't getting pussy for 30 days.
So, land your plane, Rico.
What is landing the plane is, at the end of the day, good girls lose only among passport bros, because passport bros only want hoes. And as far as 9 and 10s, passport bros and travelers don't deserve them. They deserve them fucking adjustable fours that they fucking get back home if they get any. And my point.
All right, man. Appreciate you, Rico. Let me chat, if you could click on the link Ronan is doing a live tonight, so if you could click on the link for his live and just hit the watch, what is it, notify. So make sure y'all click the link and support his live later on this evening. So my clothing statements is, well, when it comes to 9s and 10s, I'm gonna be honest. Most 9s and 10s in everywhere in the world you see are either on Instagram, some are on OnlyFans, but most 9s or 10s are not hidden and kept away secret. Most 9s and 10s are identified at a young age. They meet men that give them opportunities to be exposure, or whether it's on social media, modeling, things of that nature. So saying it all to say is that most 9s and 10s are damaged goods. Let's just start there. Most 9s and 10s are damaged goods. The only, and this is my opinion, the only way you can ensure yourself that you can get a 9 and 10 that's not damaged goods is if she's a virgin. And to find a virgin 9 or 10 will require you getting in good with a certain family or a certain circle that is going to introduce you, or if you meet her in college. But most guys aren't traveling overseas in college meeting college women. So that if you want a good girl and a 9 or 10, yes, you do have to be on the top of your A game, because they're obviously in the top 1% of their respective society. So you have to look as good, have a certain amount of money, or have a certain amount of money to get a 9 or 10. But like I said, in my opinion, most 9s or 10s are damaged goods. So when guys are marrying these prostitutes, to give them credit, at least they are typically they're attractive. When guys are marrying these prostitutes, they're marrying damaged goods, not just the amount of sexual partners she had. Most of the time her psychology is really messed up. That will have an effect on her being a parent, especially if a lot of psychological damage hasn't been addressed or corrected, which means that if a reformed hoe, most guys probably are not even meeting a reformed hoe, right? They're meeting the chick that they're meeting the chick that they met in the game. They're not really meeting chicks retired from the game. They're taking them out the game. Other thing I wanted to land with is, as far as do guys want good girls or bad girls? What we seen in the passport bro space. Most of the actions I'm seeing where guys are, taking the pros out the game, it seems like guys want the bad girls. It seems like guys want the bad girls. So it destroys the narrative of that guys are traveling for better women, because if you're traveling for better women, you're not going to go for the bad girls. You're going to go for a quote unquote good girl on paper. So this is just another stream and another topic that really exposes like what the narrative should be, or a narrative at all. The problem I have with the movement is that the movement was supposed to be a quiet movement, and people did what they wanted to do. People could marry their pros discreetly, people could have their fun discreetly, but once people wanted to put things out on the internet and talk about them, then hypocrisy's got to be addressed and called out. So it's a gift and a curse. YouTube is a gift for a lot of people to monetize on, and then then people that's critics or people that want to tell the truth about travel, it's an opportunity for them too to combat the narrative. That's the gift. The curse is that, you know, some lies are going to be unraveled, and, you know, people are going to get heartbroken, disappointed, and the movement is tainted or tarnished because of, you know, bad actors. So I just wanted to close on that. Rico made a point that men want the upper hand. They want to have a financial leverage. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, men want financial leverage in the United States. That's why a lot of men feel like they can't date a woman that makes the same amount of more money. So having leverage in a relationship or having control, you know, that's no different. Men want the same in the U.S., overseas, or abroad, or domestically. So I don't have a problem with guys wanting to have the upper hand. I personally think men should have the upper hand in the relationship. But let me see if I get any more of these chat. Zero trying to roast me, man. You gotta cam. If you're gonna call somebody a 4-0, you gotta cam up. You gotta cam up. I'm trying to see if there's any more comments that's important. He said I have a solid rotation. I'm young and fit. Your comments don't mean. Okay, he might be going that after somebody. Jesse said it's a big movement. The more people that got in, the more people's agendas diverted, just like any movement. That's true. That's true. They can't afford the bad girls in the West. It's just that simple, man. Yeah. So a lot of good comments. We're not all going to agree on everything, but I'd be curious to hear what you guys leave in the comment section. Please like the video. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and appreciate all of y'all that's tuning in or tuned in. Peace out.